want to begin with Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran, because it is the only surah of the Quran about which Nabi Muhammad ﷺ has established a link with Dajjal. He said, recite the first 10 ayat of Surah Al-Kahf and you will be protected from the fitna of Dajjal. So there's a link between Surah Al-Kahf and Dajjal. And the background of Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran, that the pagan, the Quraysh, did not know how to deal with a man amongst them who said he is a Nabi. And they sent a delegation to the Jews, the rabbis in the north, Yathrib. The rabbis had knowledge, but on the basis of the knowledge which they had, they said, ask him these 3 questions which only a prophet can answer. Ask him about the ruh, the spirit. Ask him about the great traveler, traveled to the 2 ends of the land. And ask him about the young men and the cave. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the answers in the Quran. When he answered the first question, he first repeated the question and then answered it. Then when he answered the second question, he did the same thing. He first repeated the question and then he answered it. In answering the third question, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not repeat the question. This is not by accident. There is something that he is concealing. He wants to leave the rabbis guessing, so he does not repeat the question. The target of the third question has to be a major sign of the last day. And the most important one of all is Dajjal. And so it should not be difficult for us to conclude that when the rabbis ask about the young man in the cave, the target of the question was Dajjal. And so when we go to look at the answer and study the answer, that answer delivers to us information that is critically important about Dajjal. It is in that answer that the young men fled from the city because of oppression. But they did not sit on the fence. They did not waver. They stood up firmly for the truth. And as a consequence, they had to leave. And they fled into a cave. And they slept for 300 years. And after 300 years, Allah woke them up. And they started to question each other. How long have we been here? And they said, maybe a day or a part of a day. And I say to myself, wait a minute, let me scratch my head. Something wrong here. If you have slept for 300 years, when you wake up, you have to be blind not to see that you've been there for a long time. But they said, a day or a part of a day, indicating that even though they had spent 300 years, when they woke up, they were still the same age. So the 300 years had not been spent in biological time. The 300 years had not been spent in our world of space and time. Is that clear? Do you all agree with me? Wrong. Because the Quran says that the sunlight would enter in the morning and the evening, and the bodies will roll, attracted to the sunlight, every morning and every evening. So every single day of those 300 years, the young men were in this world of space and time. So now we have what is known as a paradox. We have the evidence that they were in this world throughout the 300 years. And we also have the evidence that they were in another world for those 300 years where you do not grow old. So how do we solve this problem? This paradox is meant to open the door to understanding of Dajjal. That although he is released into the world and he's here amongst us in the world, he's not in our world of space and time. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, when Dajjal is released, he will live on earth for 40 days. 1 day like a year, 1 day like a month, 1 day like a week. وَسَائِرُ أَيَّامِهِ كَأَيَّامِكُمْ, and all this day, all the rest of his days, like your days. Our methodology is one in which we interpret it. And we recognize that Dajjal is going to be, he's here on earth, he's living amongst us, and even though he's here amongst us, he's not in our world of space and time. So you can't see him as yet. Can you see the angels? But they're here. Can you see the jinn? But they're here. Therefore, Dajjal is also here, but you cannot see him. He passes through 3 stages. And the Quran uses the beautiful metaphor of a shadow. And Allah says in Surah Al-Mursalat, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم انطلقوا. Let the world now proceed. Let the historical process now proceed. انطلقوا إلى ظل, to a shadow. انطلقوا إلى ظل ذي ثلاث شعب. A shadow which will emerge in three parts. The shadow will be moved away and Dajjal will appear in person. And in those three stages, we said, within those three stages, he gave to the world Pax Britannica, and then Pax Americana. And finally, there will be a third stage of the shadow, and that we say would be Pax Judaica. When the third stage of the shadow has been completed, then the shadow will be lifted, and Dajjal will appear in person. This is Suratul Mursalat. And then the hadith, the prophecy of the Prophet ﷺ, in which he was speaking to Mu'az ibn Jabal radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he gave a timeline of events. The Jerusalem center stage, which symbolizes Pax Judaica. Medina in ruins, which indicates that this ummah has no role to play on the stage of the world. And then comes the Great War, Khuruj al-Malhama. And then after that comes the conquest of Constantinople. And after that comes the Khuruj of Dajjal. The shadow is now lifted and Dajjal will now appear in person. When the Prophet ﷺ went on to say that Dajjal will come with two things, a river and a fire. But his river will be a fire and his fire will be the cool waters of a river, indicating that in those long years when the shadow is on the world, things will not be what they appear to be. No, appearance and reality will be completely opposite to each other. And so in Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran, Allah has given the most important passage of all in the whole Quran to warn you about Dajjal. And the warning is delivered most of all to the Jews. The warning is conveyed through Musa alayhi salam. But the warning is actually meant for his followers, the Jews. That he declared that I am indeed the most learned of all men. That's what they say. And Allah responded and said, no, you are not. There's one more learned than you are. So Musa alayhi salam says, I want to meet him, the one who is more learned than Musa alayhi salam. And it is Khidr alayhi salam. And the Quran is telling us that the scholar, the guide, the one who can penetrate the reality of the world in Akhir Zaman, the one you should follow is Khidr. So Musa says, I want to meet him. And then Surah Al-Kahf gives us the amazing encounter between Musa and Khidr. And every time there's a test, Musa fails. And Khidr alayhi salam has to explain. And at the end of it, he says, this is the ta'wil. This is the word he used. This is the ta'wil of that which you did not understand, Musa. And so Musa was judging on the basis of external appearance. And all of us today are doing that. And so this passage of the Quran is the mother of all passages of the Quran in warning us about Dajjal. That you have to go beyond the external appearance of what Dajjal has given to you in order to recognize the internal reality that he's going to use money to enslave you. When Allah went on beyond Surah Al-Kahf in the Quran to teach the subject of Dajjal, Allah sends a vision to Sulaiman alayhi salam. And he sees someone sitting on his throne. And he's a jasad, body without a soul. From the time he saw that vision, he immediately understood. This is the wisdom of Sulaiman alayhi salam. He understood that this was an evil being. And he also understood that Allah has sent this vision because this fella, this evil being, he wants to inherit my kingdom. He wants to rule over holy Israel. So what did he do? ثُمَّ أَنَابَ. He turned towards Allah penitently. قَالَ رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي. He said, oh Allah, kindly forgive me. Naturally, don't make the mistake, go searching. What sin did he commit? He's asking for forgiveness before he asks for something, that's all. وَهَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي. And grant that none can inherit my kingdom. No one can inherit my kingdom. And also grant that there can never be a kingdom like mine again in history. إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْوَهَّابُ. You are the one who grants Dua. So said, so done. Allah accepted his dua. And as soon as Sulaiman alayhi salam died, the kingdom collapsed and has never been restored up to this day. So now, who is the Jasad? Obviously, the Jasad sitting on the throne is Dajjal. This is the most direct reference in the whole Quran to Dajjal. And what is the implication of Allah showing Sulaiman alayhi salam, showing him Dajjal sitting on his throne? Number one, that we should get confirmation that what our Prophet said was correct, that he is known as Al-Masih al-Dajjal because he wants to impersonate the Messiah. And the Messiah is going to return to the world to rule the world. But he will rule the world from a Khilafah state, from a holy state of Israel. Of course, it will not be the one of Sulaiman alayhi salam, nor would it compare with that. It will just be another holy state. And so Dajjal is shown sitting on the throne to tell Sulaiman alayhi salam that Dajjal wants to rule the world from your holy state in Jerusalem in order to declare that he is the Messiah. This is the first and the most important of all implications to emerge from that vision. Number two, the Dajjal is a Jasad. But when you see him, you see a human being. You cannot see anything external other than a human being. Well, then what is it that makes him a Jasad? What does he lack that the rest of us have as human beings? The answer is, we have the ruh that Allah gives to the human being. But he does not have that ruh. We have a ruh, but he does not have that ruh. In what way is his ruh different from ours? The Quran tells us that Allah offered to human beings an amana. He offered the amana to the samawat, and they said no. He offered the amana to the ard, and they said no. He offered the amana to the mountains, they said no. And then mankind accepted the amana. The amana is the ruh that Allah breathes into you, that gives you something called freedom. Freedom to think independently. Freedom to pursue knowledge and to acquire knowledge independently. Freedom to extend the frontiers of knowledge. That is what Allah gave to us. He cannot think like that, Dajjal. He does not have the freedom. He is externally programmed. And the freedom that we have also gives us the freedom to choose. Allah says, Al-haqqu min rabbikum faman sha'a falyu'min wa man sha'a falyakfur. The truth is from your Lord. Whosoever wishes has the freedom to accept, and whosoever wishes has the freedom to reject. But he does not have that freedom, Dajjal. He is externally programmed. And so what Dajjal wants to do with us is to transform all of mankind into Jasads like himself. When we stop thinking, then others will think for us. And when you stop thinking, you'll also stop choosing. And others will choose for you. And you'll become like sheep. And any tune that Dajjal plays, you will dance to that